For centuries, whispers about a hidden sun have haunted the edges of myth and forbidden knowledge. A sun not of light, but of shadow. A source of power so absolute that ancient rulers feared even speaking its name aloud. It appeared in alchemical manuscripts, occult diagrams, and secret doctrines passed from temple to temple, always shrouded in warnings. They called it the Black Sun. To some, it was the key to transformation. To others, the symbol of cosmic endings. And behind its darkness lay the reason why priests, kings, and secret societies approached it with both fascination and terror. Across medieval Europe, the Islamic Golden Age, and Taoist China, alchemists wrote about a symbol as unsettling as it was profound, the black sun or soul. At first glance, it looked like a mark of death, the end of all things. But within the cryptic language of alchemy, it represented something very different. This symbol was the gateway, the beginning of the great work, the point where destruction and rebirth fused into a single process. In Western manuscripts, alchemy appeared to be about turning base metals into gold. But this was always a disguise. The real goal was spiritual, the transformation of the alchemist's own being. The great work unfolded in stages: Negrado blackening, alba whitening, and rubido greening. The black sun ruled over Negrado, the first and most feared of these stages. Here, matter had to decompose, identities had to dissolve, and the comfortable illusions of the ego had to collapse before any enlightenment or purification could occur. Medieval texts called this the putrefactio, the rotting away of the old so that something entirely new could emerge. Arabic alchemists spoke in the same language of transformation. For them, the blackening was essential because only after darkness came the whitening, the birth of wisdom, clarity, and spiritual light. In Taoist China, internal alchemy described an almost identical process, the breaking apart of the ordinary self so that the deeper forces of the spirit could realign and ascend. Across cultures, the black sun marked the threshold moment when chaos becomes the precondition for creation. Plato in the Republic explained that the human soul must move from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge. Through this lens, this symbol takes on a meaning that goes beyond alchemy. It reflects a truth that appears in every human life. Growth and renewal often come after our hardest trials. It is in those moments of loss, failure, or despair where new abilities emerge, and we discover parts of ourselves we did not know existed. Accepting the presence of the black sun means understanding that darkness and light not only coexist, but need each other to exist at all. For the alchemists, this was the first law of transformation. There could be no illumination without first passing through the stage of Negrado, where old structures collapse, and the self is stripped to its core. And now we begin our journey into the black sun, a symbol of power, mystery, and transformation. But to understand its true significance, we must travel back to the very beginning. To understand the power of the black sun, we must first journey into its ancient roots. The symbol did not emerge from the void, nor was it invented overnight. Its presence can be traced through the corridors of history, where it evolved across cultures, concealed beneath layers of myth and ritual. The first appearance of the black sun in recorded history can be found in the legendary Wewelsburg Castle, located in the heart of Germany. This castle, which dates back to the early 17th century, holds a darker place in history due to its connection with the Nazi regime. In the 1930s and 1940s, during a period of intense renovations orchestrated by Heinrich Himmler, the black sun was etched into the very floor of the castle's General's Hall, now known as the Obergruppenführersaal. This intricate design, made of 12 radial spokes, became a hallmark of Nazi esoteric symbolism. But the black sun was not an ancient, pre-Christian symbol, as many might believe. Contrary to popular myths, this configuration did not exist in pagan traditions or Norse mythology. Instead, it was an invention of the 20th century, one that drew from older sunwheel symbols used by ancient civilizations. The number 12, as seen in the Wewelsburg symbol, held significant esoteric meaning, frequently appearing across various religious and mythological traditions. In Germanic traditions, 12 was a powerful number, symbolizing cosmic order. It appeared in the stories of 12 gods, the Aesir of Norse mythology, and later in Christian lore, where the 12 apostles surrounded the figure of Christ. This sacred number was, To some, a representation of completeness and unity. Within the Black Sun's 12 spokes, this symbolism found a new expression, a new power forged in the crucible of Nazi ideology. The Black Sun's connection to the ancient world is not entirely without merit. Although it did not appear in ancient Germanic or Norse traditions in the same form, it can be seen as a modern reinterpretation of the sun wheel, an ancient symbol of power, vitality, and the cycle of life. The sun wheel itself appeared in prehistoric art and later in various European cultures, including the Celts and the Germanic tribes, often used as a symbol of solar divinity and cosmic order. But what was once a natural symbol of the sun's light and warmth had now, under Nazi influence, become something darker, an emblem of hidden esoteric power. It is here at this intersection of ancient symbolism and modern invention that the true mystery of the Black Sun begins to unfold. Was it simply a reimagining of the sun wheel, or did it carry with it a far deeper meaning? What was its purpose to those who created it, and why was it placed at the very heart of Nazi spiritual ideology? The answer, however, is not easily found in the historical records. Unlike other well-documented symbols, the Black Sun was never explained in official Nazi propaganda. Its presence was silent, enigmatic, one that demanded interpretation and mystery. Perhaps that was part of its allure, a symbol that could be redefined in the minds of those who believed in its power without ever being fully explained. And so, the Black Sun took on a life of its own, far beyond the confines of the Nazi regime. It became a symbol that transcended its original creators, transforming into something much larger, something that would echo through time and be reinterpreted by future generations. Yet to fully understand the significance of the Black Sun, we must look beyond its origins in the Wewelsburg Castle and explore its connection to the deeper currents of history. To do so, we must delve into the cultural migrations and transformations that carried this symbol far beyond the reach of the Third Reich. The Black Sun, while deeply rooted in the 20th century, carries with it hidden layers of meaning that transcend its modern origins. To the uninitiated, it may appear as a mere symbol of darkness, perhaps an emblem of destruction or even malevolence. But to those who understand its esoteric significance, it is a key to transformation, an alchemical symbol of profound depth. Alchemists from the West to the East understood the importance of transmutation. The Black Sun was central to the process known as Negrado, the blackening. It marked the initial stage of transformation, where old structures, identities, and egos must dissolve before new growth can take place. In the alchemical tradition, this stage was feared for its ability to strip away the old self, leaving only chaos and uncertainty in its wake. It was not the end, but the beginning of a deeper journey. In Islamic alchemy, the process was mirrored. Arab philosophers spoke of the Black Sun as the moment of dissolution, the necessary destruction of the ego and the world of appearances before spiritual clarity could emerge. The same concept was shared by Taoist alchemists in China, who described the internal process of breaking apart the ordinary self to allow the higher spiritual forces to ascend. In all these cultures, the Black Sun was seen not as a force of death, but as a catalyst for renewal, a symbol of the necessary chaos before enlightenment could follow. Yet the Black Sun's meaning extended beyond alchemy. Across ancient cultures, it was understood as a symbol of hidden knowledge, often associated with secret societies and initiatory traditions. Mystics, magicians, and spiritual seekers throughout history have understood that true enlightenment comes only after facing the darkness within. This symbolism can be found in the mystery schools of Greece and Egypt, where initiates were often required to undergo a symbolic death to their old selves before they could be reborn into higher wisdom. The Black Sun, therefore, represents more than just a destructive force. It is a threshold, an initiation. Just as a seed must be buried in the earth to sprout, so too must the initiate pass through the darkness of the soul to find their true light. This process of self-transformation is not easy, and it is rarely understood in its entirety. Yet those who embrace it, who dare to face their own shadow, are rewarded with the knowledge that darkness and light are not opposites, but partners in the great cycle of life. But even as it signified deep spiritual wisdom, the Black Sun was not only an internal symbol, it was also a powerful external force. often used by secret societies as a form of control. These societies understood the power of the symbol, not just for personal transformation, but as a means of creating unity among their members. The black sun, as a shared symbol, could bind initiates together under a common understanding of the mysteries they sought to unlock. And it is here that we find the dual nature of the black sun, as both a tool for personal liberation and a symbol of secret power. The black sun was never meant to be merely admired or feared. It was meant to be experienced, to be understood as a process, a transformative journey that takes the initiate from the darkness of ignorance to the light of wisdom. The journey of the black sun symbol did not end with its creation in Nazi Germany. Its story is one of transformation and migration across cultures, time periods, and ideologies. From the heart of Europe, this enigmatic symbol began to spread, crossing borders, intertwining with other cultural symbols, and adapting to the needs of various societies. In ancient times, solar symbols were widespread, appearing in many forms across different cultures. The sun wheel, the precursor to the black sun, appeared in the Bronze Age, carved into sacred sites and adorning the shields and banners of warrior tribes. It was seen as a representation of cosmic order, a circle of power that governed life, death, and rebirth. As civilizations rose and fell, these symbols evolved, taking on new meanings with each passing culture. The sun wheel was not confined to Europe. It appeared in Asia, Africa, and the Americas, linking distant peoples through a shared reverence for the sun's life-giving power. As the black sun emerged in the 20th century, it borrowed from this ancient tradition but added new, more sinister layers. Unlike the simple sun wheel, the black sun became a symbol of hidden, occult knowledge, one that was not easily understood by the masses. The symbol's introduction into the Nazi ideology only deepened its mysterious aura. Heinrich Himmler, obsessed with creating a new spiritual order for his SS, sought to reconnect with ancient Germanic traditions. The black sun, with its 12 spokes, became central to this vision, symbolizing both the cosmic order and the secret esoteric power he believed was essential for his vision of a new world. This reimagined black sun symbol began to spread beyond the borders of Germany, primarily through neo-Nazi and far-right circles. Its occult associations made it attractive to those seeking to reclaim power through mysticism, ideology, and secret knowledge. The symbol became a tool for these groups, a way to signify their connection to a mystical heritage they believed would legitimize their political ambitions. Yet the true meaning of the black sun remained elusive. Its use by these extremist groups was less about the symbol itself and more about the aura of mystery and power that it evoked. At the same time, the black sun began to seep into the world of occult and esoteric thought, far removed from its political origins. Occultists and mystics, who had long been fascinated with ancient symbols, saw the black sun as a powerful tool for spiritual transformation. To them, it was not a symbol of destruction, but of initiation, a means to access hidden realms of consciousness and hidden truths about the universe. Across time and space, this symbol took on different forms. In the United States, it became associated with various secret societies, particularly those involved in modern occultism. Similarly, the black sun's presence in popular culture grew, appearing in films, books, and art as a mysterious and potent emblem of hidden power. Its allure was undeniable. It was a symbol that promised access to secret knowledge, a connection to forces beyond the ordinary world. As it spread, the black sun shed its connection to any one ideology, instead becoming a universal symbol of occult knowledge and spiritual awakening. Yet despite its migration across cultures and ideologies, the black sun always remained a deeply personal symbol. Whether used by occultists, politicians, or mystics, its true meaning has always been elusive and open to interpretation. It was never meant to be understood in the conventional sense. To those who sought to unlock its mysteries, the black sun was not something to be seen or understood on the surface. It was a symbol that demanded deep introspection, an encounter with one's inner darkness and light. This transformation of the black sun, from an ancient symbol of solar power to a 20th century emblem of hidden knowledge, mirrors the journey of the symbol itself. The black sun did not belong to any one people religion, or ideology. It belonged to anyone who was willing to seek its truth, to confront the darkness within themselves, and to pass through the threshold of transformation that it represented. The Black Sun's journey through history was not confined to the realms of secret societies and political ideologies. It found its place in major religious traditions, each adopting the symbol and reshaping it according to their own worldview. Its meaning became a fluid concept, understood differently in various spiritual and religious contexts, yet always carrying with it an air of mystery and power. In Christianity, the Black Sun was not a symbol that was embraced openly, yet its associations with light and darkness are undeniable. Christian mystics and esoteric writers often spoke of the dark night of the soul, a period of spiritual desolation and transformation that mirrored the alchemical process of Negrado. During this inner darkness, the soul is stripped of all illusions, preparing it for the eventual enlightenment of divine grace. The Black Sun, in this context, could be seen as an esoteric symbol of that dark period before spiritual renewal, a symbol of divine purification through suffering. In contrast, in the Islamic world, the Black Sun was not directly adopted, but shared similar metaphysical symbolism. The Sufis, for instance, spoke of the inner light that could only be revealed through the darkness of the soul. Sufi mysticism emphasizes the union of the self with the divine, often through a process of intense inner purification and self-dissolution. The Black Sun, in this light, symbolized the moment of spiritual darkness that leads to an awakening of higher consciousness, a purification of the ego, and the discovery of divine truth within. Here, the Black Sun's dark power was not an end, but a gateway to enlightenment. Similarly, in Hinduism and Buddhism, the concept of inner transformation aligns with the symbolism of the Black Sun. Hindu alchemists, like their Western counterparts, understood the importance of breaking down the old self before spiritual rebirth could take place. The Black Sun, in these traditions, represents the necessary dissolution of the ego and the illusion of individuality, making space for the soul's ultimate union with the divine. In Buddhism, the Black Sun is reminiscent of the dark path to enlightenment, an inner journey that involves confronting and overcoming the shadows within the self. This symbolism also echoes in the ancient Egyptian mysteries, where the sun represented both life and death. The Black Sun, seen as a hidden sun, was sometimes associated with the goddess Sekhmet, a deity of both destruction and creation. She symbolized the destructive forces that cleared the path for new life and order. In this context, the Black Sun was not a force of evil, but one of cyclical transformation, a power that facilitates renewal through destruction, much like the process of regeneration seen in the death and rebirth of nature itself. However, the Black Sun's religious significance is not without controversy. While its deeper esoteric meaning was explored by mystics and initiated circles, its later association with Nazi ideology has cast a shadow over its use. The Nazis sought to reframe many symbols, including the Black Sun, as part of a racial and spiritual mythology designed to support their claims of Aryan supremacy. The symbol, once tied to ancient concepts of cosmic order and spiritual transformation, was now reappropriated as a symbol of racial power and destiny. Yet this distortion does not erase the Black Sun's deeper, more universal meanings. Its connection to light and darkness, death and rebirth, transcend cultural and ideological boundaries. In fact, it is precisely because of its transformation across different religious and cultural contexts that the Black Sun holds such power. It is a symbol that has transcended its origins to become a universal emblem of spiritual awakening, a reminder that both darkness and light are necessary forces in the cycle of creation and destruction. As we look across these religious traditions, the Black Sun takes on an almost archetypal quality, representing the essential journey of the soul through darkness toward illumination. Whether viewed through the lens of alchemy, mysticism, or religious philosophy, it is a symbol that urges us to confront our own darkness, to break down the illusions that bind us, and to embrace the transformative power that lies within. In the aftermath of the Nazi regime, the Black Sun's fate seemed sealed, its dark associations forever tied to the horrors of the Third Reich. Yet this was not the end of its story. Rather, it marked the beginning of a new chapter, one in which the black sun would reemerge from the shadows, revitalized in occult and esoteric circles. Its sinister past did not eliminate its deeper, more profound meanings. It only deepened its mystery and allure. After World War II, occultists and neo-pagan groups began to reclaim the black sun, distilling it from the stain of Nazi ideology and reimagining it as a symbol of spiritual power and initiation. The black sun was reinterpreted as an emblem of hidden knowledge and transformation, much as it had been in earlier times. In these circles, the black sun was no longer simply a symbol of political power or racial supremacy. It was a tool for personal growth, an initiation into the mysteries of the self and the universe. The black sun was also embraced by secret societies, many of which had been operating underground during the war years, keeping their knowledge and practices hidden from the public eye. These societies understood the black sun not just as a symbol, but as a portal, a key to unlocking deeper layers of consciousness and spiritual power. It was a tool for those who sought to transcend the mundane and access the hidden wisdom of the ancients. Within these circles, the black sun was seen as a mark of an initiate, someone who had passed through the trials of inner darkness and emerged with new understanding. One of the most prominent groups to adopt the black sun symbol in the post-war period was the Thule Society, an occult organization that had played a role in the formation of Nazi ideology. After the war, splinter groups of the Thule Society continued to explore occult ideas, using symbols like the black sun to forge a new mythos. For these groups, the black sun represented the continuation of an ancient spiritual tradition, one that had been passed down through secret societies and hidden orders for centuries. But it was not just secret societies and occultists who found meaning in the black sun. In the 20th century, the symbol began to seep into popular culture, especially in the fields of literature, art, and film. Its deep association with mysticism and esoteric knowledge made it a fitting symbol for works of fiction that explored themes of the hidden and the unknown. The black sun appeared in countless books, movies, and graphic novels, often depicted as an object of immense power, capable of unlocking secrets of the universe or serving as a catalyst for profound transformation. This popular resurgence of the black sun in modern times reflects a broader cultural fascination with the occult and the esoteric. As society moved further away from traditional religious institutions, many people began to look for new sources of meaning, often turning to the hidden knowledge of the past. The black sun, with its enigmatic origins and layers of symbolism, became a symbol of this search for truth. It was a call to explore the unknown, to seek out the mysteries that had been hidden from view for centuries. In the modern world, the black sun's power lies not in its direct associations with any one ideology or culture, but in its ability to transcend these boundaries. It is a universal symbol, capable of evoking deep emotional responses across cultures and traditions. The black sun speaks to the human experience of facing the darkness within and using it as a source of strength and transformation. It is a reminder that in every moment of chaos, there lies the potential for renewal, and in every shadow the possibility of light. Yet as it re-emerges in modern esoteric circles, the black sun remains a symbol that demands careful interpretation. To those who seek to use it as a tool for personal power or control, its meaning remains elusive and ever-changing. The true power of the black sun lies not in its ability to manipulate or dominate, but in its potential to guide the individual on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. It is a symbol of the inner work that must be done to achieve transformation, not a symbol to be worshipped, but a challenge to be embraced. As the black sun continues to evolve, its modern transformation has moved far beyond its origins in secret societies and occult traditions. Today, it is woven into the very fabric of popular culture, politics, and society. The symbol, once confined to the realms of mysticism and hidden knowledge, has entered the mainstream, gaining new meanings and resonating with people across the globe in unexpected ways. In the modern world, the black sun is often used as a symbol of rebellion, power, and resistance. For many, it has become a mark of those who seek to challenge the status quo, whether politically, socially, or spiritually. Its association with transformation, destruction, and rebirth resonates with those who feel alienated from conventional systems of belief and control. The black sun, in this context, represents the desire for personal freedom and the willingness to confront the darkness within society and the self. In the realm of pop culture, the black sun has been reinterpreted in a variety of ways. In films, books, and graphic novels, it is often portrayed as a mysterious and powerful force capable of unlocking hidden knowledge or granting supernatural abilities. In some works, it serves as a symbol of forbidden power, an emblem of those who possess secret wisdom or the ability to transcend ordinary human limitations. This allure of the black sun as a tool for personal empowerment speaks to the modern fascination with ancient mysteries and esoteric knowledge. Politically, the black sun has also been adopted by various far-right and nationalist movements, who seek to reclaim symbols of power and mysticism from the past. The use of the black sun in this context is controversial, as it evokes the occult and esoteric traditions that have been intertwined with radical ideologies. However, this appropriation of the symbol highlights a growing trend in modern politics, where ancient symbols are often repurposed to serve new ideological goals. The black sun in these circles is not merely a symbol of spiritual enlightenment, but one that represents power, dominance, and the assertion of identity. Despite these modern reinterpretations, the core essence of the black sun as a symbol of transformation remains intact. It still represents the journey through darkness toward enlightenment, the process of breaking down old structures and identities to make way for something new. This journey, however, is not without its challenges. In today's world, the black sun can be a metaphor for the internal and external conflicts people face as they struggle to navigate the complexities of modern life. In psychology, the black sun has found a new relevance, particularly in the work of Carl Jung and modern psychoanalysis. Jungian psychology emphasizes the need to confront the shadow self, the hidden, repressed parts of the psyche that shape our behavior and emotions. The black sun, in this context, represents the confrontation with the darker aspects of the self, the recognition of the unconscious forces that influence our lives. This psychological journey is one of self-integration, where the individual learns to accept and embrace the shadow in order to become a whole and authentic person. The modern resurgence of the black sun also reflects a larger cultural shift away from traditional religious and spiritual systems toward more personal, individualized forms of meaning-making. As people seek answers in an increasingly complex and fragmented world, the black sun offers a symbol of mystery, power, and potential. It speaks to the desire for personal transformation, the search for deeper truths, and the longing for connection with something greater than oneself. Yet, as the black sun gains popularity in the modern world, it also faces a paradox. The very symbol that was once a secret, hidden from view, is now in the open, readily accessible to all. Its power, once reserved for initiates and mystics, is now diluted by mass media, commercialization, and the widespread dissemination of information. In this sense, the black sun has become both a symbol of empowerment and a reflection of the challenges of modern life, where the search for meaning is often overshadowed by superficial distractions and external pressures. Still, the black sun remains a potent symbol for those who seek to go beyond the surface, to confront the darkness within themselves and the world. It serves as a reminder that true transformation requires facing the unknown and accepting the chaos that comes with change. Whether viewed as a symbol of personal power, a tool for spiritual growth, or a sign of resistance, the black sun continues to captivate those who dare to explore its depths. To fully understand the black sun's enduring power, we must delve into its psychological significance. This is where the symbol transcends history, politics, and occultism, becoming a universal archetype that speaks to the deepest aspects of the human experience. The black sun is not merely an external symbol, it is a representation of the internal journey every individual must undertake, the confrontation with the shadow self. Carl Jung, the pioneering Swiss psychiatrist, saw the shadow as the hidden, repressed parts of the psyche, the aspects of ourselves that we deny or suppress because they are uncomfortable or socially unacceptable. The black sun, in Jungian terms, represents this shadow, the unconscious forces that shape our behavior and emotions. It is the part of us that we often refuse to acknowledge, yet it holds the key to our inner growth and transformation. To truly understand the black sun, one must recognize that it is not a force of evil, but a symbol of the necessary integration of the shadow. Jung described this process of integration as individuation, the path toward becoming a whole and authentic self. He argued that it is only by confronting the darkness within, by integrating the rejected parts of the self, that true enlightenment and psychological wholeness can be achieved. The Black Sun represents this dark and difficult journey where the individual must face their deepest fears, their unacknowledged desires, and their hidden truths in order to achieve personal transformation. This process is not easy. The descent into the unconscious, into the realm of the shadow, is often painful and disorienting. The journey of individuation is not one of escape or denial, but one of acceptance. To embrace the Black Sun is to accept the darkness within, to acknowledge the parts of ourselves that we have long rejected. It is in this acceptance that true freedom is found. When we cease to project our fears and desires onto others, when we stop running from our own shadow, we can begin to integrate these aspects of ourselves and achieve a more complete understanding of who we truly are. In this way, the Black Sun serves as both a challenge and a guide. It challenges us to face the parts of ourselves that we would rather avoid, the parts of our psyche that hold our deepest wounds, our greatest vulnerabilities, and our most powerful potential. But it also guides us toward healing, toward a deeper understanding of our own inner workings. The Black Sun is a map of the inner journey, a symbol that shows us the way through the darkness and into the light. Yet this journey is not one that can be undertaken lightly. The Black Sun requires courage, the courage to confront the aspects of the self that have been buried for so long. It requires strength to face the chaos and confusion that will inevitably arise during the process of transformation. But it also requires faith, a faith that, beyond the darkness, lies the possibility of renewal and rebirth. It is a symbol of both destruction and creation, of death and life, and it serves as a reminder that true growth often comes from the most challenging of experiences. In modern psychological terms, the Black Sun also represents the collective unconscious, the deep reservoir of shared human experience, symbols and archetypes that lie beneath the surface of individual consciousness. It speaks to the universal truths that all people must confront in their own way. Whether in the form of personal struggles or larger societal challenges, the Black Sun reminds us that transformation is a universal process, a journey that all humans must undertake in their own time. The psychological depth of the Black Sun is what gives it its lasting power. It is not just a symbol, but a mirror, reflecting back to us the hidden aspects of ourselves and urging us to look deeper. It asks us to confront the darkness not as something to be feared, but as something to be understood. Only by embracing the shadow can we hope to achieve the light that follows. As we reach the final stages of our journey, the Black Sun reveals itself not merely as a symbol of transformation, but as the embodiment of an eternal truth, one that has been veiled throughout history, hidden beneath layers of myth, secrecy, and misunderstanding. The Black Sun, in its most profound form, represents the unity of opposites, the point where light and dark, life and death, destruction and creation converge. It is the meeting ground of duality, a place where seemingly irreconcilable forces come together to create something greater than either could be on their own. Philosophically, the Black Sun teaches us that the true nature of existence is not divided into opposing forces, but is a dynamic interplay between them. This realization is at the heart of many ancient spiritual traditions, from the alchemists of the West to the mystics of the East. In alchemy, the Black Sun represents the process of transformation that occurs when one fully embraces both the light and the dark within. The alchemical goal is not to eliminate one in favor of the other, but to find harmony between them. In the same way, the Black Sun teaches us to find balance in our own lives, to recognize the value in both our strengths and weaknesses, our joys and sorrows, our successes and failures. In this sense, the Black Sun represents a profound philosophical synthesis. It is a symbol of the totality of the human experience, the full spectrum of existence, from the most radiant light to the deepest shadow. It challenges us to confront the entirety of who we are, not just the parts we are comfortable with. It urges us to embrace the paradoxes of life, to accept that our greatest growth often comes from the most difficult experiences. And it reminds us that we are both creators and destroyers, that in every ending there is the seed of a new beginning. The black sun also reflects the philosophical truth that all of life is cyclical. As the sun rises and sets, so too does life unfold in cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. The black sun, in this context, is a symbol of the death of the old self, the dissolution of the ego, and the emergence of a new way of being. It is the moment when the old structures of identity and belief collapse, allowing for the birth of something entirely new. Just as the alchemists sought the philosopher's stone through the stages of nigredo, blackening, albedo, whitening, and rubedo, reddening, so too do we pass through phases of transformation. Darkness giving way to light, chaos leading to order, destruction making room for creation. The black sun, in this philosophical synthesis, is also a symbol of the ultimate unity of all things. It points to a deeper reality beneath the surface of appearances, where light and darkness, life and death are not separate, but are aspects of the same truth. It speaks to the oneness of the universe, where all phenomena are interconnected and interdependent. In this sense, the black sun is a symbol of the cosmic order, the hidden structure of the universe that can only be understood by those who are willing to look beyond the surface and explore the deeper mysteries of existence. In modern philosophy, this synthesis of opposites is echoed in the teachings of existential thinkers, who emphasize the importance of embracing the contradictions of life. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre and Søren Kierkegaard taught that meaning in life is not given, but created through the choices we make. In much the same way, the black sun represents the creative power that arises from the tension between opposites. It is through facing our inner darkness that we find the light of wisdom. It is through confronting our fears and contradictions that we can create meaning and purpose in our lives. At its deepest level, the black sun symbolizes the philosophical truth that transformation comes from within. It is not something that can be imposed from the outside, but something that must arise from the deepest parts of the self. The black sun is a call to action, an invitation to embark on a journey of self-discovery, to confront the shadows within, and to emerge as a more integrated and whole individual. It teaches us that the power to transform our lives lies not in external circumstances, but in our own ability to face the darkness, to embrace it, and to use it as the catalyst for personal growth and enlightenment. And now, as we come to the final part of our journey, the black sun reveals its most profound truth, one that transcends history, culture, and symbolism. For centuries, this symbol has beckoned to those brave enough to seek its hidden wisdom, guiding initiates, mystics, and seekers through the darkest depths of the self. But the black sun is not just a symbol of the past, it is a symbol of the future. It is the eternal truth of human existence, that transformation, growth, and renewal can only come from facing the darkness within. At its core, the black sun is a map, a guide to the inner work of self-transformation. It teaches us that the journey toward enlightenment is not a smooth path, but one filled with obstacles, doubts, and moments of despair. Yet it is precisely in these moments, when all seems lost, that the greatest opportunities for growth are found. The black sun asks us to embrace our inner darkness, to face the parts of ourselves that we fear and deny, and to allow them to guide us toward a deeper understanding of who we are. This journey is not one that can be undertaken lightly. The path of the black sun demands courage, the courage to face the unknown, the courage to confront the deepest fears of the psyche. It is a path of sacrifice, where old identities must die and the ego must be dissolved. But it is also a path of immense reward. For those who embrace the darkness, who walk through the fire of transformation, there is a light on the other side, a light that illuminates the true self, the authentic self, and the connection to the greater whole of the universe. And it is in this realization that the black sun reveals its ultimate power. It is not a symbol of death or destruction, but of life and rebirth. It is the reminder that from every ending, a new beginning can emerge. From every collapse, something greater can be built. It is the truth that we are constantly in a state of becoming, constantly evolving, constantly shedding old layers of ourselves to make room for the new. The black sun represents this eternal cycle of growth, the infinite possibility for renewal that exists within each of us. The black sun also calls us to reflect on the larger forces at play in our lives, the societal structures, the ideologies, and the external systems that seek to control us. In the face of these external pressures, the black sun invites us to turn inward, to look beyond the superficial symbols of power and authority, and to find the true source of strength within ourselves. It reminds us that real power does not come from external sources, but from the inner transformation that occurs when we confront and integrate the darkness within. In this sense, the black sun represents freedom, the freedom to be authentic, to live without the constraints of societal expectations and external judgments. It is the freedom that comes from knowing and accepting oneself, from walking the path of individuation, and from embracing the totality of the human experience. To live the way of the black sun is to break free from the illusions that bind us and to step into a life of greater authenticity, purpose, and fulfillment. Yet as we reflect on the teachings of the black sun, we must also acknowledge its paradoxical nature. For while it calls us to confront the darkness within, it also reminds us that light and darkness are not opposing forces. They are part of the same cosmic dance. The black sun teaches us that we must not seek to banish darkness, but to integrate it, to recognize it as an essential part of the whole. Without darkness, there can be no light. Without destruction, there can be no creation. And without death, there can be no rebirth. In the end, the black sun is not just a symbol, it is a call to action. It asks us to live fully, to embrace the challenges of life with courage, and to walk the path of transformation with an open heart. It is a reminder that the journey of self-discovery is not a destination, but a process. And as we continue on that journey, the black sun will continue to shine, guiding us through the darkness and into the light. Tonight we have explored the mysteries of the black sun, but the true work begins now. It is not enough to merely understand the symbol, we must live it. We must embrace the darkness within ourselves, confront our fears, and allow them to guide us toward transformation. Only then can we experience the true power of the black sun, the power to transcend the limitations of the ego in the external world and to become fully and authentically ourselves.